right, and I'm a stand-up comedian and mind reader. Now, I know what you're thinking. And I tell jokes, that's my act. But I'm not a mind reader, but I am, as some of you might have noticed by now, a northerner. And this is actually probably the furthest south I've ever been. I've got, I don't know, whatever the opposite of a nosebleed is. I've got that. So I'll do for you. I'll do for you a bit of traditional northern comedy. Check this out. Round our way, we couldn't afford shoes, couldn't even afford feet. Hummus? No, mate, I didn't eat that foreign shite. Give us a kebab any day. The kebab, as we know, is Turkish and thereby foreign. That's why that joke's funny. And I'll give you finally the ultimate sort of stereotypical northerner in one handy soundbite. Check this out.
I'd love to know this. Go on. I'm listening. Go on.
Are you northern yourself?
No, just like to put the accent on. But off you go.
You can show people how northern you are by doing this. You ready?
Off you go, yeah.
This is just for you. No one else is allowed to enjoy this.
Okay.
Thatcher closed all the gravy mines, and that caused me and me 500 brothers to go on strike, shirtless, outside the Labour Club, with nothing but a Greg's pasty to keep us warm. So it's good in the north at the moment. We've just got this new thing. It's called the internet. And what that is, it's kind of like CFAX, but on a computer. And what you can do is, with the internet, you can download pornography at any time of day and wank yourself off to it. But obviously it's not just pornography on the internet, you know, you can get rolling news from anywhere in the world, from Carlisle to the Congo, and you can wank yourself off to it. And there's also these things called social networks, which are quite good. There's one called LinkedIn, and with that you can upload your CV, and potential employers can download it and wank themselves off to it. So I'll tell you a bit more about the north. I'm from Sunderland, which, you know, when people hear that, it sounds like a theme park a little bit. Sunderland, you know, Sunderland, and it is a theme park, but the theme is gritty realism. At a normal theme park, kids go free. In Sunderland, everyone goes free, because the police are in on it too. At a normal theme park, you can have an adrenaline-fueled thrill ride. In Sunderland, you can have a heroin-fueled suicide. A normal theme park closes around 8 p.m. Sunderland is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, an unrelenting march to an inevitable young and cider-soaked grave. I love being from the north, but Sunderland's not the shittest place I've been to. Last weekend, myself and Terry Green we done a comedy festival in Margate. Margate? What's it called? Margate. Yeah, so we done a comedy festival there. It was great to do a comedy festival, you know. It was a real privilege to watch 100 white guys in a row come on the stage, take the microphone, and then name someone they look like and go, he's let himself go. That's what comedy festivals are like. And Margate is kind of like, it's kind of like an alternate dimension. When you get into Margate, there's this big sign, huge, it overlooks the whole town, saying welcome to Dreamland. And I looked at that, I looked at the sun setting over the beach, and I looked back at the welcome to Dreamland sign, and slowly looked down, and saw a bloke wanking into a kebab. And in Margate, one of these comedians we saw, he had that very rare thing in comedy, the on-stage meltdown. he was getting heckled quite a lot, and he just kind of freaked out. He threw the mic on the floor, knocked someone's pint over and left, which was quite funny. He was kind of like, fuck you! Sorry, I'll get you another one. Still fuck you though! And he stormed out and he was explaining to myself and Terry, because we run comedy nights as well. And he was explaining to myself and Terry, he was kind of going, I'm not normally like this, honestly, those guys were fucking pissing me off. I don't always have meltdowns, I'm not normally like this. It's like, mate, you are explaining to me that you don't have meltdowns all the time by having a meltdown. For fuck's sake. And then leaving the gig, we saw this little fella just lying on the ground in Margate, just lying on the ground. So we went up to him and kind of woke him up, and the first thing he said to us was, "You two think you're better than me?" Mate, I was just seeing if you're not dead. And I think, really, you know we're better than you. We're not underground. We're on our way out of Margate now. And I hope one day Dreamland will open again and it'll be him running the place. That's my dream for Margate. That's my hope for Margate. So I read something in the news recently, moving swiftly on. I don't really do the link between jokes too well. So I read something in the news recently about, it's fucking bright that, about Vinnie Jones. And he said if he stepped off an aeroplane from his home in LA, he'd find Britain unrecognisable because of all the fucking immigrants. Like, for fuck's sake, Vinnie, if I stepped off a plane in England, I'd find it unrecognisable. All airports look the same. Vinnie Jones, come on. Does Vinnie Jones want the world to be like the board game Risk, where every country is painted with its flag? Or does he want everyone in every country to be a national stereotype? So he'll land in France and he'll see a guy on a bicycle with onions and garlics around his neck. Or he'll land in Britain and see a guy with a bowler hat having fish and chips and a tea. Or he'll land in Germany and find a guy with red armbands doing a Nazi salute. He'd fucking like that, Vinnie Jones. He'd like that. And what annoyed me about that more was that Vinnie Jones, who lives in LA, California, was complaining about immigration. Vinnie Jones, who lives in LA, California, the USA. Vinnie Jones, the immigrant who lives in LA. So in Vinnie Jones's eyes, it's not good to immigrate to another country in order to get your basic human rights taken care of. But it is alright to emigrate for a lucrative movie deal. Vinnie Jones is a cunt. Vinnie Jones is a big racist. And if Vinnie Jones wants to take it to the fucking streets, I'd probably just see if he wanted to play chess instead. Or just agree with everything he says. Here's the link to the next joke. There's been some other racists annoying me recently. Has anyone heard of Britain First? Nice. So Britain First, for those that haven't heard of them, what they're into is propagating lies in Comic Sans and hanging as many criminals as possible. And like, you know, Muslims, whatever the opposite of Muslims is. I don't know, what's the opposite of Muslims? Not Muslims, they're into that as well. So I want to find out a bit more about Britain First. So I arranged a meeting with their main man. He's called Jim Dowson. And the first thing I said to him was, so Jim, on your Facebook page, why are there so many images and quotes that advocate hanging? And he said, well, we're very concerned with crime and punishment. So I said, interesting. And tell me, do you think Raskolnikov's theories on how an extraordinary man may transcend the given moral codes of the zeitgeist in order to create societal norms for future generations link quite well with Nietzsche's theories on the superhuman, or Ubermensch? And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, crime and punishment. He said, I've not read it. I said, I thought not. Who's Raskolnikov? Did he write it? I said, no, you dick! Raskolnikov's the central protagonist. Dostoevsky wrote it. He said, well, why should I listen to anything Raskolnikov's got to say? He's just a fictional character. And I said, well, at the moment, Jim, so are you. Because I'm making all of this up. And he said, well, that's hypocritical, isn't it? Because earlier in your set, you berated my party for making things up. And I said, yeah, that's true. And I kind of regret saying that now. But at least I'm honest when I make things up. And you saying that to me proves that. Because what I've done is use a distorted caricature of a fringe political leader as a vehicle to express regret at having falsified a conversation with that distorted caricature of a fringe political leader within that falsified conversation. So fuck you, you racist! And he said, you're being a bit pretentious and you're running the risk of alienating your audience. Maybe you should cut the losses and finish on a joke. And I said, who's being hypocritical now, Jim? You just said to me you wouldn't do something a fictional character said to you. And you're a fictional character. Because I'm making all of this up. So fuck you, I'm not going to finish on a joke. Thank you and good night. Fuck you, Jim.
Give it up for our comedians, thank you!